Alrighty, welcome back to Almost Ahead of the Curve. This is episode 12, Blizzcon. Where,
Blizzcon.
yeah, you actually got to go to Blizzcon this year, didn't you, Leah?
I did. Although people know me as Arlaria, so
See, I
good
can't
job.
remember which name you have anymore because you have 12. This is Dies the
Hey,
Druid, aka Rogaine, with me's Arlaria, aka. Was it with.
Yenisia
Yeah, see, too many
or
different
Yenny.
names. Yeah, that'll work.
Yenny.
That sounds perfectly fine. So, you got to go to BlizzCon, which I could have been there. It would have been really cool.
It would have been.
So, like, what happened? Anything fun happened at BlizzCon?
Literally all the fun things.
All the fun
All the fun.
things.
Just all the fun.
All right, so
Um,
take me to
yeah.
like where you're walking in there. Your first, like, walking through those doors. What was the first thing you thought?
Holy shit, this place is a lot bigger than it looks. And there's like this little, I don't know what to call it. It's like almost a hallway between where like the doors are, and then there's another wall. It's like 20 feet, 30 feet maybe, and there's so many people in there, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so many people. Like this is unreal. And then I actually went into the show floor, and
Oh,
I realized how horribly wrong I was.
yeah. I've heard from a couple of people that walking in there is akin to walking into, well, I mean, basically any convention, but because it's BlizzCon, it's way over the top and ridiculous because it's Blizzard's like Super Bowl, sort of, if you want to call
It
it that.
is it is completely insane. Um, just oh my god, there's so many people. It is hard to like describe just how many people 32,000 people are,
I have
but it's
never
a lot.
seen I've never seen that many people ever. So
Yeah, no, it was. I'm not used to this. Like, I don't. Yeah, but
social situations, what are those?
exactly. I don't know how to deal with this stuff. From Oklahoma, man.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah. So like 90% of it was walking through crowds and like trying to stick with my little group, and being completely terrified of the like millions of people around me.
So who all did
But it
you
was really cool.
so who all did you go with? I know you said there were people from your guild there with you.
Yeah, we had Ariel and Sunnier, our two tanks. I mean, that's who I followed around the whole time. And then
What?
Sarah was there, or Serene from Wowhead, our priest.
Nice.
So she was there too. And yeah.
Oh yeah, you met up with Pickles at some point too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. On Thursday, I met
Nice.
up with him. Said hi.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got to run into people. I'm sure the pre-parties were just insane.
Yeah. No, the whole thing was insane, and it was so cool.
So the opening ceremonies were pretty epic. I got to watch those, and it's actually why I picked up the virtual ticket. Thank you again to the friend who picked that up for me. Um, but it was really cool because I'm sitting there watching it, and like I honestly thought my computer was dying, but it was apparently very different when you were sitting there, right?
Yeah, no, like all these screens. So they're showing this Overwatch video, right? And it was like when it was launching, it was them talking about, oh God, everything's going wrong as the launch happened. And then just like it starts lagging, it starts freaking out and stuff. And then like the screens all went black, everyone's thinking it died, and then just suddenly the lights jump back on, they're like flickering everywhere, and then we find out what it was. It was Sombra from Overwatch.
Yeah, Sombro had hacked BlizzCon, which
It was so badass.
for anyone who had been following it on YouTube, there's a couple of people on YouTube, a couple of personalities. I know Riker was a huge follower of that. The AVR, it's alternate reality, like video game. Technically, like they sat there and they were going to actual websites that Blizzard had set up to find like backdoors into the Lumerico Industries thing, which was the power plant in the Dorado map. And they do all this stuff, and they'd figure all these things out with ciphers and cryptograms and stuff. I honestly don't know the first thing about it because I'm not a hacker or anything, or even a coder for that matter. But
Hmm.
it's a really, really cool thing. If you're interested in that at all, go check out Riker's video. He explains it incredibly well. And it was a really cool thing to culminate at BlizzCon, because she actually told us Monday from the last thing with that was that Lumerico is done. We'll see you in Russia, or something about like Volskaya Industries is the next target, and that led us to the BlizzCon opening, which was legitimately one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen them pull off. That was beautiful.
I wasn't like I had forgot that Sombro was a thing. I don't really follow Overwatch. I actually just bought it after that, so So whenever I saw that, it blew my mind. It was crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like it was an amazing. The crowd reaction I heard was pretty legitimately awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard that many people go and cheer and all this crazy noise, and it was very cool. It's like she was talking right to us, but it was actually just the video, which was pretty sweet.
She's also a ton of fun to play.
Yeah,
So,
which, speaking of which, she's out on the PTR as of yesterday. I actually got to play her. Today's the 8th. Also, Election Day. Go vote if you haven't already and you're somehow hearing this, in the past, because most people are prior to there. Anyway, so BlizzCon was apparently amazing. Sombra was really cool. She hacked BlizzCon. And then we finally got more information about what's going to happen in Legion, because I know people were concerned about, oh, well, not even a full 2 months into the expansion or so, we get 7.1. People were like, what's going to happen? Are we going to run out of content? The simple answer there is, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to run out of anything anytime soon.
yeah, I mean, there's still a lot to this expansion. We're like, what, a month, 2 months in?
Yep.
So there's a lot of time for Blizzard to mess up, but as of their current pacing, I don't see that happening. It's
Yeah,
kind of
definitely
crazy.
not. But I think people don't realize is that they simply added Kara and the Trial of Valor into the opening group of everything. Like, they just added it in there because they're like, oh, we need to fill a story hole, I guess.
Hmm.
And it actually went over a little. Kara, by the way, if you haven't done that, is completely amazing. Get in there and do it. It's great. And the Trial of Valor, I
Yeah.
believe, opens up. I believe it opened up today, so people are definitely going to be running that later on today, and probably wiping horribly at Helia. She looks very difficult.
Yeah, she looks interesting. I can't wait for that actually. I
I,
think we go in tomorrow. So,
yeah, I judge fights on difficulty based entirely on the number of mechanics people have to, be accountable for. So a lot of fights look really hard for the average player, which I'm okay with, because, I mean, let's face
hmm
it, if you can't do mechanics, you probably shouldn't be playing the game.
or at least reading. So,
Yeah, yeah, stay out of that. Do 5 minutes
no,
there.
and yeah, with like I said, with the current pacing, it's pretty crazy right now. Because we're going to be getting 7.1.5, and it's going on PTR either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I haven't seen the notification for it yet, because I do have a notification set up for whenever that build's available, because I want to be in that as soon as possible, because they were
Hmm.
talking about bringing abilities, some utility abilities back, I believe, and kind of helping to flesh out a couple of characters' toolkits, because for quite a few classes, it just felt like they were really missing something. Like, I know Rogues, for instance, Shroud of Concealment has been around forever at this point. Or it was, and then they took it away with the class pruning for Legion. But we were
Getting it
told,
back.
yeah, it's coming back, which is great. That's going to really help Rogues find their place in Mythic Plus higher end. Just because they won't have to get potions, and it'll be reliable. So, and it also won't steal your potion cooldown, which I'm sure is going to be much, much better. Hopefully
Hmm.
they'll also be looking into maybe giving, Balance and Feral Druids a little bit more utility, maybe a more reliable stun somewhere. Just something to help them get in groups, because right now they're almost impossible to get into higher Mythic Pluses with, and I might be biased in that statement, because I might play a Balance Druid right now.
I don't know. Do you play Balance Druid? That's news
I,
to me.
I do. I play Balance Druid Alliance side. I still have my Horde Druid, who is actually now a tank, which apparently with 7.1, the legendary drop chances went up or something, because I keep seeing them everywhere now. I don't know how true that is, or if this is just that catch-up mechanic, or that bad luck protection just finally kicking in or what, but I noticed a lot more legendaries floating around. They
Hmm.
may not be ideal, but hey, they're getting out there. So,
And at the end of the day, that's what matters.
yeah, even if everyone just gets a Sepho's secret ring that sucks for most classes, it's fine. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, so they were talking about their patch structure going forward, which is huge because if you look back at, we'll look at Warlords because it's the most recent. You had a grand total of 2 big patches, and that was it for that expansion. You had 6.1, which was literally labeled Garrison Update, which infuriated so many people. Its biggest feature, I believe, was the selfie camera.
Oh man,
I'm pretty sure
and that
that's
was
all it was.
if I remember, it had like little things. It had the selfie camera, it had twin integration,
That's right.
and very very minor things.
Yeah, it wasn't any real, tangible, playable content. It was more so social stuff and some fixes here and there, which uh, I believe it was good old Watcher who was up there on stage talking about this, right? He was the one that
Uh,
Ian, yeah.
yeah, yeah. On the what's next panel, you mean?
Yes, the what's that? Yeah, whenever he's
Yeah.
talking about all the stuff that's coming up here. So he was up there talking about their patch philosophy, and the biggest thing that I got from that was that they realized that patches that have not really like a major playable change, like for instance with 7.1, we got a dungeon, we got a mini raid, we got a mega dungeon and a mini raid. Think about that. And then we also got
Hmm.
the invasions of the Falcosaurs, which if you haven't done those, really cool. 4 pets for basically just showing up. Uh, and then we also got Alcaz Island got redone, which I'm actually very sad
Oh
about.
yeah, it did.
I was really, really hoping to get my Orbit Deception from there, but I kind of waited too long. So unfortunately for
Is
me,
Orb
I won't get it
Reception
there.
gone?
It is not gone. You can still get it in Dire Maul. But
Oh okay.
now I'm going to farm Dire Maul, and I don't like Dire Maul. So,
No one wants to farm Dire Maul.
no, but hey, great place for transmog farming. Getting off topic, back on focus.
Ah,
So, the best part about 7.1.5, which is going to be our next patch coming out, is that there's going to be just little minor tweaks here and there. They're giving us a couple of abilities back. There's going to be some class tuning passes. I know a couple of classes might have some minor reworks for certain abilities potentially. It's been hinted at. I haven't got any confirmation anywhere because I can't find anything.
yeah. I
Um,
know they're doing the talent reworks specifically. That's where they're putting a lot of their effort in. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
Most definitely.
Um, because they said like for instance, there's gonna be like certain talents that are mandatory for every single spec, or like 99% of everyone uses that. Means either needs to be baseline, or the other ones need to be less bad.
Right, so
So
like a huge example there would probably be, I mean, the first one I think of is Shadow Priest, because if you're not playing Surrender to Madness in a raid setting, you're not playing Shadow Priest in a raid setting. It's just as
yeah,
simple
you're
as that.
you're
The other
doing something
talents
wrong.
just, yeah, the other talents just don't stack up. So I'm sure they're going to be working on that. I'm going to be honest, I really hope they do something with Boomkin's last tier talents because the last 3 little talents there's one that you can run, and the other 2 just, they don't really have much of an application in PvE reliably.
Yeah,
So,
and some speculation I've been hearing and like listening to people say is barrage for hunters, for example,
hmm
or for demon hunters, like every talent.
yeah, unfortunately,
So
Demon Hunters were designed in a way that just you really do have just one. Like, there's a couple, tweaks here and there. Like, if you're running a dungeon, you take this talent. If you're raiding, you take this talent. But for the most part, it's you just take these talents for raid, these talents for soloing, and that's it. And there's
and
a
even then, I don't even change them. Like I've run the same talents for everything as demon hunter, so
mm-hmm.
I'm really lazy.
So a couple other things coming in 7.1.5. This will be the first small patch for the expansion. It's similar to 6.2.3, which I believe was the last patch in Warlords. It says it's going to revolve around systems, new rewards, and evergreen content. Evergreen being things like Pandaria time walking, events that aren't going to be going anywhere, things like that. Stuff that will always be relevant, hopefully. Ooh, excuse me. Another cool thing that's coming back is Brawlers Guild, which I can't wait for. And they said they're actually completely redoing Brawlers Guild. It's going to be completely different, which is good because last expansion I cleared Brawlers Guild because I actually remembered all of the fights from the previous expansion. And I was just playing it on a very, very overgeared rogue. And it's the only reason I got through it. I brute forced it, which you're not supposed to do, but I did anyway.
That's what I did on my hunter, but hunters get it really easily.
Yeah, hunters seem to have that much simpler, and I think it's just because the virtue of having a pet. I mean, what can you say about it, you know? They're really, really good. There's a little bit of Brawlers Guild info here. There's something called a Rumble, which basically spawns a raid level boss that pulls everybody waiting. So that's going to be, I guess, somewhere for us.
That sounds hilarious.
That sounds like a lot of AFK people are going to die to me, and I cannot wait to see it happen. And all the salt whenever they come back. How am I dead? You know, because that will happen.
Well, I assume it's going to like not actually kill you, but at the same time, we have no fucking clue.
Honestly, I hope it kills you because you die in Brawlers Guild if you lose.
If you die in Brawlers Guild, you die in real life.
That's right. It's just like, you know, what was it, Sword Art Online or whatever? Yeah.
You die in the game, you die for real.
Yeah. Got to be careful now. So there's also a new currency that's used to buy the rewards, I'm assuming. New shirts.
They said it's, with the currency, it's for things like group buffs and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Like for buffing other people. Yeah, it's mostly social things.
Oh, okay. That's going to be great then. Just something there, just a little extra. They also talked about micro holidays, which
sounds so cool.
They sound very flavorful. I mean, Encourage Remembrance Day, that is something I'm going to spend my entire day doing because I want the Alliance to fly that flag forever over Encourage on Sargeras, and I'm pretty sure every other Alliance on Sargeras feels the same way, you know?
Yeah, a couple of other examples of just like little tiny holidays, just like things that it's not really a big deal if you do it or not, but it just makes the world feel a little better, you know?
It gives you something else to do besides hacking and slashing, which is kind of nice. I really like the sound of Volunteer Guard Day. That just sounds hysterical.
Yeah, and it gives you like a little scenario, basically.
Yeah, see Hatching of the Hippogriffs and Boat Day. Boat Day sounds hysterical.
Just, it's boat day. I mean...
What are you going to do? I'm going to go on my boat. Leave me alone, man. I'm on my boat. Let's see here. Also at 7.1, Blades Edge Arena is getting that reskin. They just did that to Nagrand Arena, and if you haven't been in Nagrand Arena since, queue up for a skirmish. It looks really cool. It looks really, really nice. It is completely unchanged functionally, but it's so much prettier.
I actually haven't done any arena this expansion. I need to. Anyway.
We should totally do that in streaming at some point. In fact, we're going to. It's going to be hysterical.
Oh, that sounds like bad times for everyone.
We'll have to do death shots. It's very important.
Oh, shit.
It's going to be great.
Next week, let's do this.
All right. So there's a bunch of other things here. It looks like they're looking to make secondary stats a little more balanced. That scares me. I hope they don't overtune that. They're going to be putting utility stuff back. Only allowing survival hunters to have traps was a mistake. They specifically said that, and I'm very glad they did because it's true. Like, hunters should have something.
It's going to make Nick Blesses so much easier.
Oh, most definitely. There's going to be an artifact catch-up mechanic in there. To your knowledge, you can purchase up to level 10 or more quite quickly, which is going to be super, super awesome. My alts are going to be very happy with that. My monk's basically just been sitting in my my class hall waiting for those to come in over the past couple weeks. And then,
yeah, that's my direction too.
You have started lagging.
Oh, sorry. No, that's what my paladin's doing.
Ah, there we go. Oh, right. Yeah, you have a... It's holy, right?
It's whatever I feel like at the time.
Nice.
So usually holy.
You know what? That sounds completely fine to me. I mean, hey, you know what? Got to play the game however you want. And with that catch-up mechanic, you might actually be able to flesh out more than one spec pretty quickly on an alt, which will be super. So after the 7.1.5 stuff came out, they actually gave us information on 7.2, which I was not expecting at all. I did not expect anything.
I was kind of expecting it, but that's just because there were a lot of whispers going around at BlizzCon. So that was pretty cool.
Yes, as someone who was not there, I was not expecting
it's so cool. Like, you just kind of hear things.
I mean, you're in a building with 32,000 people, and, I mean, come on. The devs are talking to people. They want to.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, I'm sure somebody saw a slide somewhere. Definitely happened.
7.2 sounds so awesome.
Yeah, the
Oh
Tomb of
my god.
Sargeras. The Tomb of Sargeras. I love the initial quote. Return to the Tomb of Sargeras. This time it might end differently.
Yeah, he said that specifically too. It might end differently. He was like,
Could we lose? Is that a
okay.
possibility? I am actually okay if we lose something, by the way, because that just gives us more of a reason to do what we're doing afterwards, which we'll get to shortly.
But we already lost.
Yeah, we have already lost. You're right. Poor Varian, who's a hero in Heroes of the Storm. So in
Rest in peace.
7.2, we get the Order Hall campaign continuation, which I'm sure everyone's thrilled for. Woo, little party spinner thing.
Woo. I'm actually kind of excited for it.
Yeah, I actually do want to see the story, and the rewards from that look great. There's a new faction. Imagine that. There's more world quests in the next patch. No way. It's like the system works.
Mm. And I believe the faction is actually you're one of the 12 leaders of it
Yeah,
because it's all the leaders of the different classes.
Yep, that is correct. That's what all the information says there, and what I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying. I don't know if he actually came out and said that, but that's what's implied, and it makes sense because the Alliance and the
I'm
Horde
pretty
all
sure.
work together.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just stole that straight from him.
That might even be a direct quote. Who knows?
But they're gonna have this like you build a base, and let me tell you, the reaction on everyone's face when I looked around after hearing that, everyone had the same PTSD look. Everyone.
There was a great GIF
Like,
where it had it zoomed in on that. You know that dog that looks
yeah,
horrified?
yeah.
That went around
No, I
Reddit.
posted that.
Yeah, it went around Reddit minutes later. Minutes later.
It was, but no, it's actually going to be more like it feels more like a mix of the AQ war effort and the Sunwell area, to where like you contribute it by like putting in items or whatever, maybe doing quests or something, and you slowly build up certain buildings, and the buildings each give different effects, like unstable portals and extra world bosses, or class-specific world quests and strike forces, stuff like that.
Yeah, which sounds great. It'll give us something engaging to do in the world. The community might even, like for instance on Sargeras, I'm fairly certain on Sargeras we're going to see people go for the one with world bosses. Go, go, go. Do that one.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain we will see that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I want.
Me
So.
too. Me too. So there's also going to be Legion assaults, the zones we just, took back from the Legion and all of that. They're going to get getting assaulted by Legion invasions, and apparently it's supposed to be similar to what we saw during the pre-launch event, which is great because those events were actually really fun.
It actually, oh, sorry, I was just gonna say when they first announced it, it kind of scared me because they're like, all your world quests are going to be locked out, and I'm like,
oh no.
But they recently confirmed that the Legion invasions, like each little invasion area, is basically a world quest.
Yeah, it says it counts towards your emissary quest for that zone, which makes sense. And if you've been doing any of the world quests in each of the zones recently, which I'm sure everyone has, you'll notice that if you get a Warden's one in Val'sharah when you have the Dreamweavers thing up, that Warden's quest you did, if you have, say, the Warden cache and the Dreamweaver cache, it'll count for both because it's in the zone at least. So yeah, I'm glad to see they're not changing that.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's mostly just a flavor thing. It's just world quest, but they're now demon themed. So that's good because, like I said, at first I was really worried because, like, sometimes I log on and I only have like an hour, and I want to hurry up and get my world quest done.
Most definitely, and that's a scary thought right there. Is, oh god, I have 2 hours to get these done, and I can't do anything
because there's an invasion. Looks like I'm doing this tomorrow.
Most definitely. The other thing to keep in mind here is that with patch 7.2, flying will return. Second part of Pathfinder will be in. There's literally nothing for raid or dungeon content, which makes sense because it's supposed to be outdoor world gameplay that gets you flying. It's account wide again. And speaking of flying, he was talking about, what's better than flying? Do you know what's better than flying?
Double flying.
Double flying. I mean, that makes sense. Demon Hunter, double jump, better than jump,
Yeah.
obviously. No, class mounts.
Oh my god.
We get these gorgeous, gorgeous class mounts. The monk one looks amazing. The warlock one is a horse. The hunter one looks really cool. The mage is a disc.
To be fair, that's pretty cool for mages.
I it felt very underwhelming to me. I know a lot of mages are like, come on, couldn't we get something else? My suggestion was, why not fly on like a book? That'd be hilarious. Just give them a flappy book
Uh,
they sit on. It'd be great. I'd love it.
yeah, demon hunters just get a bat, the same bat we've seen everywhere, just different armor. So it's gonna. Death Knights get this fucking awesome fell dragon.
That thing looks
Uh,
really sweet.
I think shaman and monk probably got the best too.
You know, I've had
Because
people
did you see
complain.
the shaman? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's an elemental that you're sitting on. The first thing I thought of when I saw that, though, was, oh man, that Tauren shaman that my friend has is not going to be able to get into any doors anywhere while they're riding that mount, I guarantee it.
Oh man. Speaking of which, this is a little bit of a tangent, but I went to the panels that weren't streamed, and that question was asked about 5 times. Namely, why can't my Tauren get through doors? And the guy was like, I'm sorry, it's has something to do with the hitbox. We can't really fix that.
Yeah, and you know what? I completely understand that idea there because, hey, you know what? You're playing a very large character, so that's probably going to happen.
Race fantasy.
Yep.
It's like class fantasy, but not.
Yeah, that's why gnomes can fit into fireplaces, but humans can't.
And that's why gnomes can also drown underwater while having their head above it.
Exactly. The one mount that a lot of people complained about for some reason was the priest mount, but I look at that thing and it looks amazing.
Really? Yeah, it looks like some kind of like almost like a phoenix, not phoenix, sphinx.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Um,
I immediately thought of Sphinx, is what it looks like. It resembles a
a
Sphinx.
backward sphinx.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, either way, though, it's really cool looking. I mean, it's an owl cat thing with wings. And you know what? It totally fits their class. The rogue one being a raven is, to me, feels kind of like a cop out. At the same time, it also makes sense. You know, the Order of Ravencrest or whatever. So, seems good to me.
Oh, did we talk about the raid yet?
The raid?
Yeah, the raid that's coming. Team Sargeras.
No, we didn't.
I think we should.
You
There's
want to
some
talk
cool
about a raid on a
things.
podcast that's based around PvE?
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, this raid's
no,
gonna
they
be
showed
sweet.
they showed 2 of the bosses. Well, they showed a lot more than that, but 2 of them in particular, like, were pretty awesome. Like the Avatar Sargeras. I mean, he's weakened because Sargeras left it, and it's just kind of an empty husk. But still,
It
it's
still
it's
has
the
enough.
Avatar Sargeras.
It still has enough power to kick our asses over and over again. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
It's a very like a lot of these bosses are very intimidating looking. The notes that I see here are that let's see here, we see something about infernal pit lord type mobs come through walls and block your path to start the raid. There's some kind of melee variant of the jailer as the second boss. Naga Brute and Sea Witch, Fallen Avatar Sargeras is another boss, and the
And
last
kill
boss,
Jaden.
Kill Jaden, the one that every
Oh my
demon hunter
god.
told to kiss their ass to. Yep.
Yeah, he's kind of mad at me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Someone has to be.
And then on top of the dungeon, which looks really cool already. Sorry, raid. We're also gonna have a dungeon.
Yeah, we got a 5-man called the Cathedral of Eternal Light. It's a 4-boss dungeon available in all difficulties. And apparently we use the Aegis of Agrimar to open the way into the raid using that dungeon, which sounds really cool. I will, of course, reserve judgment on how badass the place looks until we get in there, but everything I've seen screenshot-wise, this raid looks like a masterpiece. Unfortunately for me, though, it is far too green and fell-colored, and too reminiscent of Hellfire Citadel so far.
We've been joking that we're gonna go back to Hellfire Citadel,
Oh
and
god, no.
by joking, I mean Ziz or Esoft will recommend it, and then we kick him out of the guild.
Nice. That sounds like a very reasonable response to that action right there. That really, really does.
But no, they said that the top of it's going to look all fill, but as you go down lower, it's going to look less and less because it's more like it's etched.
Yeah, it says that the Tomb of Sargeras was the Temple of Elune.
Hmm.
And it says, you venture into underground caverns where allies of Queen Ajara await us. That is interesting. Can we
Yeah,
say
and the whole
Naga
idea of,
raid?
oh man, I think we got Nagas in the future. Like
Fell
I think
Nagas.
they're gonna do another Trial of Valor, like a small raid in the middle, and it's gonna have Ashara. I'm calling it now.
All right, you're calling it now. The date is 1/8/2016. Sorry, 11/8/2016. I don't know what is wrong with me.
A lot of
11/8/2016.
things.
It is 4:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're calling it a Jara mini raid somewhere.
Ashara mini rage. Hmm.
Somewhere after the Tomb of Sargeras. All right. Sounds great. Sounds great. You know what? I could totally see that happening.
I was gonna say you want to put a bet on it, but it seems like you do not because you agree
I
with me.
am so incredibly skeptical as to what we're going to see because I honestly have no idea where we're going at the moment in terms of bosses and things we're going to see storyline wise because I have
Mhm.
no clue. I haven't really been following the story of this expansion. I really really need to. It's a really good story. I just haven't been there yet. But
Yeah, yeah.
there's actually PvP stuff coming in 7.2. There's going to be brawls, uh, inspired by brawls and other Blizzard games. Woohoo.
Which
We've long
sound
been.
cool.
Says various
I
gameplay lets you experience PvP in a different way. Cool. I'm never going to complain about ways to make PvP more fun.
Yeah, I mean I'm not gonna probably do much of it because I never do, but it sounds cool. The brawls sound like a lot of fun. They were talking about a couple of them, and yeah, no, they sound really fun.
Like, I'm very glad that one of their initial ones they know for a fact they're doing is South Shore versus Terran Milligan. That was a really sweet BG. Unfortunately, there were just so many people there, and I was on such a bad computer at the time that I couldn't
Oh
really do
yeah,
it.
that was
Uh,
good times.
it was. I mean, I just lagged the whole time. Warsong Gulch capped the flag without having to have your own flag. That's really sweet. And when I heard Packed House 15 on 15 Arena, I just started laughing hysterically. That sounds hilariously fun.
Yeah, and they were talking about how a lot of them were like experiments,
Yep.
see what people like and what they don't like, and yeah, he was joking that if people don't like it and it's not fun at all, they can be like, oh well, no, it's fine. It wasn't meant to be fun.
That was
Pretty
just
funny.
meant to test you. It was a control. That's what it was.
Yeah, the brawl this week was specifically don't have fun. It worked.
Yeah, did you all hate it? Excellent. You're gonna love the next one. Don't screw up the next one. And like the one that was really neat, was really visually stunning, was Winter Arathi Basin. Low visibility due to weather, and the water was frozen. That just sounds great.
The craziest thing about that
What's that?
is there has been a Winter Arathi Basin file in the game since vanilla.
Huh? And they've never
Yeah, when I
used it.
saw that, it made me go, "Oh, hey, they're finally doing that." 'Cause
There's
it's
a
been in
lot
the
of
game.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
files in the game that just they're not used for anything yet, but they're there. So maybe we'll see more of them come out this expansion here. They were talking about.
Maybe.
There was actually some interesting information about artifacts in 7.2. Further empower your artifact. They're adding additional traits, including a gold bordered one. Gold trait.
Mhm.
3 points with utility. Also allows you to put another point into all of your 3 point traits. Total of 15 new points to be added to everything, and more artifact knowledge levels coming to compensate for the fact you're going to be. I'm assuming at that point needing millions of artifact power. I guess
Yeah,
I don't.
it was confirmed. I believe it was in a Q&A that the way they're going to stop people from you get all your gold traits and then you just start banking it and not caring about finishing it out until the new traits come. It is going to require your artifact to be complete before you can do them,
Well, that makes perfect sense.
including the extra points in your passive.
Oh, in the 20 point passive.
Yeah, so yeah, I
Well, you know
believe you're
what?
going to need.
That's going to get interesting. That's going to get very interesting.
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh my. There's also going to be another artifact appearance. There's a quest line that lets you get to that. They're giving us new type of relics that give us 2 traits per. That sounds wonderful because it would be great to have maybe one that has a defensive and an offensive on it. Just to.
Or if you're a DPS, you want 2 offensives.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Nothing else really works. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. This thing will give me 99% less damage taken, but this one's 2% more damage.
Well, when all you're supposed to do is do damage, really depends there.
I would be so mad at me if I did that.
So
That'd be really funny.
One of the artifact appearances you'll be able to get is apparently through a solo. It's recognized through solo player skill, mastery of your spec. It's inspirited by Anathema and Benediction and like the Warlock Green Fire quest. I'm assuming
Inspirited?
It says inspirited. That is actually the.
I'm pretty. Yeah, maybe, but I'm pretty sure the word you're looking for is inspired.
It says inspirited, and I'm going to go to the exact slide here. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me find it here.
I mean, Blizzard's known to have typos before. Did you ever use the Spirit Flasks?
Spirit Flasks? Yes, I did.
Whenever they were Spirit Flasks?
Yeah, I was inspirited constantly.
Man, these Spirit Flasks are so good.
I know. So
I'm really sad they fixed them.
The hidden skins, there's some really cool ones sitting there, but the one that I am most shocked to see, and I'm sure the crowd was too, that Guardian Druid Werewolf Bear Man skin thing.
Oh man, Ari is really excited for that.
I'm really excited for that too. It looks really amazing.
Yeah, it does. It was kind of talked about that the solo content is not going to be easy.
I'm completely fine with that because there needs to be something in the game that is, you have to be a badass to get this, or you have to be really good at your class together. There has to be something to be like an actual achievement to get. Otherwise, it's just like, here, have this thing, and they might as well just put them all on a vendor, like the Hunter hidden skins.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that it's going to be tough, and I'm going to enjoy rocking my flame glaives.
I am going to very much enjoy doing a ton of stuff as Balanced Druid to get whatever skin it is they put there. I haven't really looked because I've been distracted by that bear skin, which, if you look at it, there's no way.
It's like a laser sight.
Yeah, like looking at that bear skin, there's no way whatsoever it's going to have standard animations. That's got to be different. Because
we'll see. It kind of looks like the rocks.
Oh, like the Drogbar dudes?
Like, yeah, the rock ones.
Oh, the crystal and shard guys.
Yeah, it kind of looks like them.
Summon. Okay.
But yeah, we'll see. Right. There's some really cool ones near though, and like I said, I look forward to showing off when I get it. Prot Warriors get a flail.
Yeah, so do Prot Paladins. Actually, they have a flail too.
Do
flail,
they?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
And, yeah, the hidden one for Prot Paladin has a flail.
I just saw that.
Which people are. I mean, the thing is, like, there were people talking like, "Oh my gosh, how do they do a flail?" And it's like, well, if you look at, say, the Scepter of Sargeras on Destruction Warlocks, or the Monk Staff Shaylun, if you look at them, there's actually tassels on both of those that swing in the air and are based on the physics. So they've had weapon physics for a while.
They talked about it not that long ago. I want to say during Draenor, when they were talking about new weapon types, and they were saying they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that they fixed that.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm glad to see some changes because it'll definitely break up the monotony of, oh, you always have a sword. Or, oh, you always have this staff. A couple different things here and there goes such a long way. Couple other things coming in 7.2 of note. They're going to retune Heroic and Mythic Plus dungeons, both in difficulty and rewards. How we're going to catch up and be able to, run Heroics right away has yet to be seen. I'm sure they have something in place to let you catch up quicker gear-wise. And then also
they'll probably raise World Quests too.
That's what I assume. You just get quicker stuff with your World Quests. Either that or your class set becomes obtainable quicker, something like that maybe. Another thing here with Karazhan is going to be broken into upper and lower sections, queuable random heroics, and Mythic Plus as well. So that's going to be great. I cannot wait for Mythic Plus Kara. I love Karazhan, and that's just going to be great to be able to do that.
Hmm.
I believe they said they're also doing the same thing for Court of Stars and Arcway, that they're going to have them as heroics as well.
Yes, yes, they
Which
did.
I'm sure that will help bridge the gap as well, because the trinkets in those dungeons are absurdly good for a couple of classes. So I'm sure that'll definitely help people gear up quicker. New Keystone affixes are coming because, hey, guess what? It's an expandable system, which is what they just kept saying all weekend. And anything they can expand on and improve on is a great system. They should definitely keep. Please, please, please keep the system. It's wonderful.
They made a point that one of the new traits will probably be Corpse Explosion,
It's gonna be super.
which if anyone's done Mythic Il'gynoth, it's gonna work like the Bloods on Mythic Il'gynoth.
Sounds
In other words,
horrifying.
it is going to be a nightmare.
Oh, just like that
But
place Il'gynoth is.
oh man, I hate that fight.
Oh, it sounds miserable. I haven't done it yet because I haven't. But so 7.2 is soon coming to the PTR after 7.1.5, which again should be up very, very should be up this week here. They said right after BlizzCon they want to get that up and get that
Yeah,
stuff testing.
it should be up today or tomorrow.
I would,
Most likely today.
yeah, I'd expect probably late this evening. I know normally with them it's a Tuesday evening Eastern that I see them pop up. And with patch 7.2 being soon on the PTR after 7.1.5, they also said there will be a 7.2.5 coming shortly after 7.2, which is, those small patches are where they're putting their, their fixes, their retweaks, things like that in there. So it'll just kind of keep things fresh. And the one thing that I'm sure a lot of people were very surprised about was they talked about where we're going after 7.2, which, like I said, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot about 7.2, but we got information about post 7.2.
Yeah, we didn't get much, but we got some.
Yeah.
Namely, we know what's going to happen. Kind of.
All we
We're
know,
going to Argus.
Argus, which for anyone who doesn't know what Argus is, it is not actually the thing that Diggle works for with his wife on the Arrow. Not that. This Argus is.
I don't get it.
Of course you don't get it. You ruined my jokes. Stop. No, 7.2 we're going to Argus, which I hope I'm correct here. If not, people will flame me, I'm sure. But I believe that's the Shattered Homeworld of the Draenei, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That is where the original pact between Archimonde, Kil'jaeden, and Velen. Well, Velen ditched out because he's a wimp, but that's where the pact with him and Sargeras was.
Yep, and the best part is the still that I saw with Ian up there on the stage with Argus makes him look like he is so thrilled to be going to Argus. Like, he looks like he's in love with Argus. If you haven't seen that picture, it's floating around MMO Champ. I'm sure it's probably on Wowhead too, because Wowhead has tons of great info on there too. I just popped
Yeah,
on this
no,
one to find the image.
I can say that Illidan does want to go there. We killed him right before he went there, actually.
That is correct. That's where he was trying to go.
Yeah. And we were like, hey, we're killing you.
And you'll actually notice in the very last picture, you can actually see Illidan on. It looks like he's on Argus looking at Azeroth, I think that's what he's looking at, but I don't know because I don't know the exact reference points there. But I believe that's Illidan looking at Azeroth from Argus. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But it's the very last picture that you'll see with Ian in front of the big screen. So that looks really cool. That's going to be an amazing patch. And I say patch because, we're not leaving Legion yet. There is still, it's a continuation of this story. So that should be this expansion. And you said it too. So I think it's safe to say we're going to have a 7.3.
Yeah. I want to say 90% sure that's when we're going to have Argus is going to be on 7.3 or whatever. But, things could change.
It could change. It could be that, after 7.2, by the time we actually get 7.2, And by the time we're almost done with it, they could very easily at that point be announcing at Gamescom or at even at BlizzCon next year even, because keep in mind we're not getting Nighthold until like January at the earliest, right?
I believe early January, actually.
Okay, well
I think we're
anyway,
really close to it. Yeah.
all right. So January is when we get Nighthold. Probably gonna have Nighthold for at least a couple months before we get into 7.2. Given
Woo,
their
7.2.
I know it's gonna be interesting. People are concerned about a content drought. I'm not. I think we will be perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, at the rate that they're releasing content right now, like it's like watch your setup on stage. They want to every time a patch goes live, immediately they're going to try and have another one on the PTR.
Which makes sense, because if you're not working ahead a good distance, you run into the wonderful problem of Siege of Orgrimmar or Dragon Soul. So,
Or HFC.
hey, it's too soon. Too soon. But the stills we saw from Brawlers Guild look really cool. Like, everything we saw at BlizzCon looks really neat. They're taking everything, very seriously as far as timing goes, as far as getting us a good amount of content. Considering, we're still paying $15 a month. In some cases, people are paying $20 a month because they're buying things with gold. Keep in mind, those tokens come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're buying your stuff with gold, you're actually giving them more money than you realize. Just a little economics thing there for you. I don't think many people really give a shit, but had to say it anyway. There's so much.
I know.
There is so much cool information out there from BlizzCon, from the Diablo 3 things that were revealed to the Hearthstone to Heroes, Overwatch stuff. You missed any of it, you can see most of that information. Any site like Wowhead has it. Wowhead, MMO Champ, all those have it.
If for some reason you also want the Murloc pets and all the rewards, you can still buy the virtual ticket.
Yep.
Which is kind of funny.
Yep, you can still get the virtual ticket. I picked it up literally Friday of BlizzCon as the opening ceremonies were going on.
Yeah, I talked him into it. It's pretty funny.
And it was just like, nope, need this. I need it. And those two pets are amazing. The stuff you get in the other games are great. It's worth it if you're going to spend the money on it anyway. I mean, let's face it. How much money do you spend on WoW a year? Probably too much. Whatever, it's worth it. As much time as we get into it. But that's a topic for another thing.
Man, I'm going again next year. BlizzCon has been so amazing, and I need to start going every year.
I really hope I can go next year. Hopefully I can make it work. I want to go so I can experience BlizzCon at least once. Thing to keep in mind, you went to BlizzCon 10.
Yeah.
You went to the 10th anniversary of BlizzCon. That's pretty sweet.
10th anniversary of BlizzCon, 25th anniversary of Blizzard, and 10th anniversary of Diablo.
20th anniversary of Diablo.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, you said 10th, and I'm like, no.
I sounded wrong after I said it, but yeah, no, 10th of BlizzCon, and I got a cool box. I got a Diablo 3 20th anniversary mug that had beer in it.
Beer?
Yeah, it was beer.
Oh my
god,
good. Beer.
It was some kind of chocolate stout. I want to say it was like blood of something or another.
That is excellent. That is absolutely excellent.
It was a chocolate stout, and I'm not normally a beer person, but it was really good.
That sounds.
I also got yelled at because I tried taking it off the property.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
Apparently, that is against the law.
Once you have opened it, yes.
I didn't know. Well, it wasn't even open. It was in a cup. But yeah, no, I didn't realize that's against the law. It's not here. So.
Oh, well, no, it was in a cup. That's why. Local.
But yeah, some security guard. He came up to me and was like, "Hey, you need to drink that." And I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, I'll drink it then. Hey, you know what? You're just a dumb kid from Oklahoma, right? You didn't know any better.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that will take us here to our wrap up. Thank you guys so much for listening to us ramble for, let me see, how long have we been rambling for here? Oh, only 50 minutes. Look at that. Oh my god. Who on earth wants to listen to us for this long?
Literally no one.
Hey, we get like 20 views. But thank you again for watching, guys. This has been almost ahead of the curve, episode 12, BlizzCon.
BlizzCon, woo!
Remember to like, share, subscribe. There's that stupid thing they put there. At some point, this will be monetized. Maybe you can help me make a living from it. Maybe you can help me pay my fee for WoW. Who knows? Who cares? But
That'd be pretty cool.
it would be great.
I want in on that cash money.
Yeah, no, you could have. It's cool. You know, we just do that.
Oh man.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is technically a little more than a year we've been doing this now, and we're only at 12 episodes because we lose things, both of us. Neither of us is perfect, but it's okay. So
I'm pretty sure we've recorded like 23 or something.
I don't think it's been that many.
I think it's like that many.
It could be. So anyway, guys, signing off. This is Dies the Druid, a.k.a. Lotus Petals, a.k.a. too many names.
And I'm Arlaria, a.k.a. Yinny.
A.k.a. all those other names. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.